Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Sam Gilley retains his Commonwealth super-welterweight title. He stops Jack McGann in 4 rounds. And McGann came in as a late replacement. I think Louis Green was supposed to be the next opponent. But I don't know why Green dropped out. But the point is that, in actual fact, that would have been a rematch, because Gilley won the Commonwealth belt against Green in a terrific dust-up. It was one of those. I mean, Green was down in, I think it was a hook to the body in the 5th round of their fight, but it was one of those really competitive fights where, even though one guy did sort of win relatively clearly, nevertheless, it was a right old tear-up. And so a rematch would have been great. This was at the York Hall. It was the top of the bill on TNT Sports. But Green dropped out, and in came Jack McGann. Now, McGann, 2 fights ago, in fact, this was earlier this year, I think in about March, maybe? No, it was before that, wasn't it? Or was it? I can't remember when exactly. I know it was sometime this year. McGann had fought Green, in fact, over in Riyadh, and in fact, he'd been done in a round, and he was previously undefeated. Green was brought in as a sort of live underdog with like a 16-4 record, and in fact, he ended up bombing out McGann in 1 round. So McGann came back, had a little quick TKO over a journeyman, got the call, and said, "Yeah, I'll have Gilley. I'll." He's 31, by the way, McGann. So he's really, if he wants to, he's not in the position, let's say, where time's on his side and he can sort of turn down opportunities. This was a good opportunity for him. So he went in there with Gilley, and in the first round, to be honest with you, Gilley looked much more confident. Gilley's a year younger, at 30, and he seemed to have more sort of zip about him, more confidence, more verve. McGann did look a little bit pensive, a little bit nervous. And in the first round, I thought Gilley won the first round. I thought they were having a look at each other, but towards the end of the round, Gilley did a little bit of showboating. He clipped McGann. McGann wasn't badly hurt, but he sort of backed off. And Gilley just looked so much more confident, so much more... so much sharper, and to be honest with you, just a little bit younger. I mean, I know he is a year younger, but there's no big deal, is it, a year? But he just looked like he had that enthusiasm, that youthful enthusiasm, which McGann had a sort of more dour presence about him. Well, in the second round, early on, this kind of manifested itself in a knockdown, because Gilley caught McGann with a big right hand, chopped over, a lazy jab, caught McGann on the jaw, down goes McGann. And he didn't look rubber-legged, but he looked shaken. It looked, if he was lacking in confidence, that wasn't going to do whatever confidence he did have any good. Up he gets, and kind of out of the blue, suddenly McGann seemed to sort of come to life. And he actually got Gilley on the ropes and was doing some pretty good work, some good, accurate work. It's almost like he thought, hang on a minute, I'm here to win this. What am I doing? Why am I not confident? Why have I just been on the floor? So he was letting his hands go, and Gilley was covering up. But a few punches were getting through. And, when Gilley let his hands go, he did look sharper and he did look heavier-handed. But you just thought, okay, McGann, we're in a fight. We've got ourselves a fight now. And McGann did well for the rest of that round, even though he lost it 10-8. In the third round, at the start of the first 30 seconds of the third round, he did the same. He got Gilley on the ropes. He was letting his hands go, and he seemed to be really working his way back into this fight. Third round, I gave it to McGann. I think there wasn't a great deal in it, but I thought McGann won it, and I thought, okay, we're getting ourselves a little fight. Don't forget, this is a 12-rounder because it's for the Commonwealth belt. But in the fourth round, early on, in the first 30, 40 seconds maybe, again, it was the right hand that Gilley landed, and it sort of unhinged McGann, who sort of his legs did did turn to rubber, and he staggered backwards into the ropes. And then Gilley pinned him on the ropes, was letting his hands go. McGann was desperately covering up. At one point, he fell forward, and I thought his gloves touched the canvas, and the referee should have maybe called that a knockdown. I'll have to have a look back. Maybe his gloves didn't touch the canvas. I don't know. But he managed to get onto the adjacent ropes. Gilley was not going to let him off the hook. And again, it was another big right hand. And this time, McGann did fall forward with his gloves on the canvas. And I thought the referee might call that a knockdown. But no, instead the referee stopped the fight. So it was a TKO in 4 rounds for Sam Gilley, who retains his 154-pound belt. And McGann looked visibly disappointed because he was edging his way back into that fight, and he was doing some actually, pockets of some pretty good work. He just felt that if he could have maybe got into the second half of the fight, if this could have been an interesting, it'd been interesting to see, how the 12 rounds panned out. But congratulations to Sam Gilley. He's now 17 wins with 8 KOs. 18 wins with 8 KOs with 9 KOs. He was 17-8 coming in. The defeat he had was to Danny Ball, who at the time was undefeated, and that was back in 2021. So that was a points decision. So he's been learning the trade. He had a win over undefeated Drew Brown. He's beaten Sean Robinson, who only had 1 defeat on his record. He had the excellent win that is aging very well over Lewis Green. I'd love to see that fight again. For Jack McGann, this is 2 stoppage defeats in 3. And to be honest with you, he's now got to decide, maybe one more roll of the dice. But at 31, he's not going to get that many opportunities. But he can fight a bit. But I do wonder about his punch resistance. If he gets caught, he does tend to sort of unravel a bit. And he does have a lazy jab as well. Those jabs were lazy. They were leaving him open for right crosses. But anyway, not a bad fight. While it lasted, it was okay. So what did you think of it? Did you see it? It was on TNT Sports, headlined at the York Hall, Queensbury promotion. Let me know what you think. Let me know how far you think Gilley can go. Commonwealth champ. What was he on? 54 pound. He looks like he makes the weight pretty easy. Yeah. British title maybe. EBU perhaps. Let me know what you think. Comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, because it helps us out a great deal and it costs you nothing. It takes a second to hit the subscribe button, and also the like button if you like the video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got more boxing tomorrow. Welcome to the weekend. Thank you very much, and bye for now.